Hello and welcome to another episode of the Growing Full Circle podcast. I am your host, Dominique Skates, and as always, thank you for joining us today. If you keep up with the podcast, you'll know it's been a while since I released another episode, but we are back and better than ever. So in this episode, I will give you a rundown of where the hell I've been. Also give you some information on where the podcast is going and our future plans for it. And we'll discuss intuition today. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about intuition, what it means to me, how to use it, what it is, and simply welcome everyone back to the show. So without further ado, thank you. Let's get started. So if you listen to the last episode, you'll know that I have been grieving with the passing of my mother, Monica Renee Skates. And it took some time to process what was happening and what I wanted to do now with this change in my life. And the first thing that I realized is how much I love and miss and appreciate my mother for everything she's done for me. So thank you, Ma. You forever be in my heart. Eventually, your name is going to be written on everything I do to show my respects for you. But we're here now. We have taken the time that we didn't know we needed. And we are back on the show to give you some heat. You know, we are growing, as I hope you are as well. And through that growth, I've learned a lot about where I wanted to take my life and what I wanted to do with my purpose and with my knowledge and understanding of the world. And I've come to this conclusion that I'm not 100% sure. And the only reason that I guess doubt within myself exists is because I'm so happy with change. I always leave room for change to occur. Because as I've come to know, life is about balance, and everything that happens for us isn't going to tilt the scales, let's say, in the way we want it to go. There will always be times where I'll need to reframe and change within the structure or the flow of life. But that's a small segment of experiencing the joy that I have. I've come to understand this joy for life around existence and not questioning that existence, but connecting to God and understanding that Source has given us this existence for us to experience purposefully. It is up to us to be intentional with that purpose and to align ourselves with what we feel allows us to reach that highest point within ourselves, that climax where we have felt, the top of the mountain, feel like we have achieved something, that feeling of knowing that the job is done. some of us, well, I'll speak for me. I don't think I'll have that until until I'm able to reach that old age and can look back on my life and see that I live it with the purpose and intention that I set out to do. Right now, I am in the mode of doing. I have grown from childhood, from adolescence, from young adulthood to in the prime of my life, to see the steps it takes in order to reach my goals. I am no longer ignorant to the work it takes in order to achieve something great. But I don't have the wisdom of already achieving it. I am on this journey as my listeners would most likely be on a journey as well to reach our goals and to figure out what's the next step to get there. Are you on the right path? Are you going to get off of this path as we get older and take a new path? You know, the unknowing of the future is ripe within my life. But the faith and the trust that I have in like God and my purpose and my intuition allows me to be weightless, to be free of that burden of the stressors of what's coming next. I truly sit within meditation to see where I want to go. And the reason it's done within meditation is because I want to be receptive and connected to source, for it to be true and authentic within my heart, to know that I'm always chasing love and not chasing, illusions of society where I want a fast car just to have a fast car because I want to go fast. I think it makes me look cool, feel cool. Or am I looking for things that bring me love and peace and happiness? Yeah, those things a fast car will give me a joy in a sense within that moment. And life is moments, so don't want to discredit the joys of material purchases or making ourselves comfortable within this life. But also there's a perspective of knowing that I am a small piece of something larger. That joy and love when I'm connected to God and when I connect to other people who are also looking to connect with God on a deep spiritual level. That level of compassion, that level of serenity, it's unmatched by what I can achieve through driving fast in a fast car. So as we talk about where the podcast is headed, I began to think about purpose. My purpose for utilizing my voice and providing that experience from my life and sharing it to anyone who wants to listen. It was a selfish pursuit in a way that I wanted a platform where I can give myself. It has evolved into, I have evolved with the understanding of building community and not only sharing my experience, but sharing the experience of others and having important dialogue and allowing that dialogue to be shared organically for everyone. I feel it's important to ask the right questions and to be present and to share not only my passions, but the passions of others to showcase this connectedness. If you follow me, you know I believe in a collective consciousness. And with that, I truly believe that we are all inherently good. We all seek to be inherently happy. And I want to bring that here to the show, to the podcast. And with that, I will start inviting guests and allowing them to share their life and share their experience with my listeners. And for me to be enthralled in the conversation and ask questions and to invite my guides and their guides and see what good we can bring to the world. So if you didn't catch that, the next step of the podcast is to introduce you to people I've come to know or people that I've come and our paths have crossed, and get to know one another, share our feelings, share our struggles, share the tools that we use to overcome them, and be authentic as we grow full circle. Now I want to talk about a topic that it's profound in how it has greatly shaped my life. And that is the idea of intuition. And I call it intuition, but I've come to know it more of a connection to our higher selves, our collective consciousness, source, God, however you want to connect to your guides, your higher source. Intuition is just another name for that connection. It is described as the ability to acquire knowledge without conscious reasoning. It's that ability to understand something instinctively. And from this, it's funny because we have accepted this to be scientifically factual through, our psychology, philanthropy work as humans. And consciousness is still such an unknown topic. And in today's society, we are diving into the terminology and benefits and to the overall spectrum of spirituality, which I believe will eventually lead us to a more understanding of our consciousness. Intuition will be the gas or the fuel for that study, as again, it is that connection to our conscious world. So when we discuss this gut feeling, the first thing I tend to gravitate in the discussion is, well, how do you come to recognize it? If we are talking about something that is innate within all of us, why only a few of us are able to understand how to utilize it for our highest good. And I've come to know intuition as being something that is very subtle and quiet unless you practice at strengthening that volume. As children, I feel it was very easy to tap into our intuition as we didn't have as many kind of stressors within our mental space of adulthood and relationships and so on and so forth. Even the children of today, I think, struggle more with intuition versus previous generations as they have access to constant information through internet sources. So reconnecting to our intuition is extremely powerful as we move towards a more modern future. So recognizing intuition requires being receptive. I recall a time where someone mentioning the importance of being receptive. They weren't talking about intuition. I was at an event and about interstellars, and someone asked, how are you able to communicate? And the way they described being receptive really resonated with me, as it was something that I felt, or something that I continue to feel, as I become receptive within meditation and trying to understand energy around me and energy within other people, within living things such as plants and animals. Being receptive and having faith in knowing and trusting what you feel or what you see or what you hear is a part of the practice. Intuition will look different for all of us, but from my experience, I am very in tune with that intuitive feeling of knowing. It's such a kind of knock on my chest when I am called to bring awareness to that intuition. My connection to source is heightened the more I am receptive. So the more I do meditations or dive within a mindful state and connect to my guides in that way, I become more in tune moment to moment with my intuition. I've established a life where I live in that moment to moment presentness of making decisions through my intuition, of allowing my heart, allowing that knock to guide me ever so subtly in the directions that I want to go. I've learned it's not something that is quick by any means, but it is effective in a way where I truly enjoy life. That's not some marketing scheme or something to trick or seduce anyone into purchasing my services. It's truly something that I had to build authentically in order for me to be here. I myself want authenticity, so I couldn't present myself as something that I'm not. And that's something I still struggle with as I continue to release things within my business. I always look and ensure that I am coming from a place of love that I've come to know through my connection with God. So I will never put myself out there for something that I'm not believing in. And I'm putting it on wax, so you can hold me to that. But nevertheless, as we talk about recognizing intuition, it takes being receptive, being connected in order to hear God calling to you. So when we are able to recognize it, it takes time to practice, to continue to see how that intuition calls to you. It was varying degrees of intensity for me, and that allowed me to understand what the message is. So now I feel so integrated within it. Sometimes I get lost to say, is there still calling to me? But it becomes as easy and as natural as breathing to feel connected. Even the way I breathe has changed through my spiritual practice. I've always felt like I breathed too sporadically, or it was like a struggle sometimes, or I would force myself to breathe deeply. But through intention, through scanning my body and understanding where my breath goes and what muscles control it and how do I breathe effortlessly to which it flows and relaxes my body, has allowed me to meditate deeper and to feel more connected, and for my mood, my energy to feel lighter. I feel a better sense of life when I consistently practice my practice. Not allowing it to become mundane, but something to enjoy because I know the benefits, because I know how much fun I get out of being me, out of loving and enjoying life. Existing in other energy is a weight. It makes me tired. It makes me want to sleep. It makes me not want to eat properly, all these things that contribute to unhealthy lives, an unhealthy life. I'm able to curb a lot of that energy by simply practicing my practice. It feels like worship. Like as religions go through a process of prayer, I've come to love and accept that process and incorporate it into my practice. It's not that for me within my prayers, I'm looking to worship God in a way, but to continue to thank the universe for the life, for the joy that I get for existing. It's a feeling of bliss. And all I can ever seem to conjure up is a thank you. That's what intuition is like for me. It's a recognition of a connection in which I'm able to practice it, to deepen that connection in order for me to live happier. Intuition has allowed me to be present, to be connected to source. And I'm thankful because I want to continue to live like this until I no longer am able to live. And that's something no profession, no relationship has been able to provide for me in a way where being connected to our creator is like being connected to everyone. And it's this immeasurable feeling of unconditional love that I wish to continue to ride out. I think this is a good place for us to wrap today's episode. Thank you again for taking the time to take this journey with me as I ramble about my life and the things that's going on. So I hope something in today's show is of some value to you and that you'll come back for the next episode. As I mentioned in our intro, we'll begin our round of guests on the show. I am extremely excited about the direction that we're taking with the podcast. If you are familiar with my life coaching business, I've made a bunch of changes. So go ahead and check out our website at ssgjourney.com. There's some information on there about our new community that I have soft launched. I'm going to do a full launch with marketing and more information about what the community is about. If you're interested now, please head over to the website, request to join, and I will get you added. You'll see our upcoming events, information on our workshops, as well as my upcoming course on manifestation that I will be dropping soon. It is my first course that I'm releasing to everyone, so I'm putting in a lot of effort to ensure that that is right. But my goal is to have that prepared for everyone soon. So that's going to be exciting for everyone to get a chance to dive into some information on how to manifest and in ways it'll be impactful for your life. But more news on that to come. So as always, stick around on the podcast for more information about the works that are going on within my life. And yeah, I appreciate you again for making the time. And we will see you on the next episode. So take care. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, peace.